Shyne, this is like crazy. Welcome home.
I'm so happy to be here. Hot 97 is definitely my home.
That's
I
right.
don't want to be biased, but
No, be biased. We want you to.
My career started at Hot 97. I remember as a messenger boy, I used to deliver messages to Hot 97.
Wow.
After I graduated high school, that was around the corner from the old Hot 97 location. On Varick Street, you guys were on Hudson Street.
Yeah.
And it was here. This is the station that broke the Bad Boys record.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
This is crazy right now. Welcome home. And we were just talking about this cold weather.
Yeah.
You miss it at all?
This is the YNs. Is that what they call themselves? Or the Gen Zs? They say that this is the '09 weather. They say '09.
Yeah.
Not at all. And this is beyond brick, and I was joking with you that this is the Who kid weather. Like every time I'm outside, I'm like, whoo, kid. Yeah, so I need to go back to Belize. My flight is ready. I need to be back home.
So when you do come back home here, are you like only able to spend a few days and then you have to go back to Belize? How does that work, like arrangement wise? Or can you get an extended stay if you needed to?
I'm here on a work visa, so I could live and work here.
Perfect, yeah.
But I have my daughter in Belize, and
your life.
That's the most important thing to me. But obviously, I have to work.
Right.
So when I used to come before, it was as a diplomat. But same thing. I had the legislative responsibilities there, as well as my daughter. So now my travel is based on work.
Yeah.
So I've been out of the country, out of Belize for a couple of weeks now, because I was in Los Angeles recording and the Grammys, and I had to do the African American Film Critics Awards and Directors Guild Awards, a bunch of different things. So I need to get back home, and then I have to go back out again because I have to do a music conference in Jamaica in another week or so, and then go do some recording in Miami. I got to go see DJ Khaled, Timbaland, and Russian. Yeah.
You are working on new music.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, we're here to talk about King's Theater.
For sure.
May 2nd, that monumental, historic performance in the theater that I grew up. I literally grew up a few blocks away from King's Theater.
This is crazy, yeah.
But I am working on new music, which will not be performed at that
night. Right.
Concert. That is a legacy performance of the Shyne album, the 25th anniversary. But I will be releasing new music at the end of the year, latest, maybe third quarter.
I was reading that this is you headlining your first ever live concert, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. Like, so this moment really is special.
Yes, it's historic. Unfortunately for me, my album came out September 26th. Then you have October, November, December, January, I'm selecting a jury. February, trial starts. March 16th, I'm convicted. So there was not much room for me to do anything.
No tour, nothing at all. Like you didn't get to celebrate.
3 months, 90 days. I had freedom for 90 days, and I was working on the Godfather Buried Alive album because I knew that I was going to be incarcerated. I didn't anticipate that I would, serve 10 years. We were hoping that it would have been, 3 years, 2 years, because I did have an unlicensed weapon. I accepted that, but I was defending myself. So we hoped that the jury would have acquitted me of the more serious charges and convicted me of the weapons charges. So I was working on that album, and then it was hot. It was hot in the city around that time, and trial is coming up, so I don't really want to be outside.
Of course.
And I need to get this album done. So I think I did like Nassau Coliseum on a bigger bill of different artists.
Right.
And maybe something for a radio station in Miami. But other than that, I didn't have a chance to tour at all.
And during that time, your debut album, Shyne, is out. It's doing numbers,
yeah,
right?
number one. Number two. Godfather Buried Alive was number one. Platinum album, selling records, yeah. Bad Boys is top 10. Bonnie and Shyne, top 10, yeah.
And you're incarcerated at this point.
Well, I get incarcerated a couple months after that. And it was,
Damn.
Yeah. And then
Did you ever get to enjoy your success?
No, I told you it was 90 days. And then the 90 days of album come out, 90 days, I'm recording. So then I'm recording every day. It's going to the studio, and I don't write rhymes. So I just sit there sitting with beats. So it's just listening to music, because that's how I come up with my records. I have to listen to the song over and over and over and over again. So yeah, I never got a chance. And then I know what's about to happen.
And then I was going to say, probably your mind is like fixated on what is about to happen.
Yeah, so never had a chance to really appreciate.
So this show is going to be incredible, May 2nd at King's Theater. This is your
celebration.
Yes, a celebration of something that you never had a chance to celebrate.
And the audience, right? I think people have been with me very long, 25 years. And they never got the opportunity. You know, I know for me, when I see my favorite artists perform, I'm not coming out unless I really love the artist.
Right.
And then when I come out, you know, I love those songs, and it's an experience. And my audience never got, my supporters, my family, the Shyne family, never got that benefit. So this is a monumental experience for us to celebrate us. Like, we've all been through a lot. You know, I was just, I did a TV show, and the producer was working out at the gym in front of King's Theater yesterday. And that's how I went on the TV show, because then she reached out and was like, you got to please come on the TV show. Her mom bought the Shyne album for her when she was 12 years old.
That's crazy.
The clean version.
Yeah.
And now she's the producer on the TV show, and her mom was a Shyne fan. So I'm just saying, there are people that grew up to the music, didn't get the benefit of having those artists, family relations that are going to be at that concert. So it's going to be so special. Yeah.
Obviously, when you were incarcerated, and then when you had to leave the country, did you feel at any moment that you are being left out, looked over, your career's done? Like, how did you grapple with this?
My career was definitely over. I was always optimistic. I was always a very optimistic person, because while I was incarcerated, I put out a #1 album, which was the Godfather Buried Alive album. And I was a mythical creature in hip-hop and music at the time. It was like Elvis, Tupac, and me. Everyone wanted to sign me, so I didn't feel left out. You know, Irv Gotti, God bless his soul, Murder Inc., Nas were coming to Rikers Island, Jay-Z was coming to Rikers Island in the Maybach. That's when the Maybach first came out.
To visit you?
Yes.
Wow.
So I was very much in demand. Dr. Dre was calling me to do a song with this new artist by the name of The Game.
Wow.
And, you know, artists were Dipset was rapping about me. Everybody was rapping about Shyne. So I'll be honest with you, I was very much celebrated. 50 wanted to sign me. I was very much celebrated throughout my incarceration. And when I got out, I was optimistic that I would be able to continue my career, but the deportation was devastating.
Right.
And it was draining. So when I got in the studio, you couldn't hear this voice. You couldn't hear me. You couldn't hear Shyne. My voice was just, my vocal cords were stripped. And, you know, one of my #1 fans was DJ Khaled. And so this was before he was flying jets. He wouldn't fly back then. And I think he was an executive at Def Jam. And he was like, I need the first record. I'll take a boat to Belize. You got to do the first record. He didn't take the boat, but he sent me the record. And somehow the record leaked. And my vocal cords were just botched.
What happened what happened to your vocal?
I think being incarcerated for 10 years, you're not performing, you're not exercising, and being incarcerated, the bosses move in silence. You're not saying much because there's snitches all around you, and you just keep quiet. You just keep to yourself. You let nobody know what you're thinking. You let nobody know what you're doing. And so doing that for 10 years, just quiet, not saying much. And then you try to get back in the studio, that muscle
Yeah.
needs to be exercised, and so I think maybe I needed more time. And I just wasn't there. My presence wasn't there. It just didn't feel, and I don't know if people can truly relate to being held in captivity for all that time. And I wasn't someone that did something wrong. I was defending myself, so that makes it even worse. So the mental gymnastics and spiritual and emotional roller coaster, it's a lot. So when you come out, it's not like some people that, are able to do it. I don't know who has really done it, who has gone. I think, Buja did okay. He put out his first album out was great. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot to go through that and to get right back at it. So I wasn't able to do it. I was drained and I just wasn't ready. And then when that record came out, everybody was like, right. Hov wanted to kill me. He was like, man, what are you doing? We had a plan. Like, we were going to do great things. And then I ended up going to Israel to Jerusalem for a few years on a spiritual journey. And then after that, I just got into politics. I got into political service in Belize. But yeah, so...
what a journey.
Yeah.
You were deported in 2009 after, at this point, serving close to 10 years, right? You're incarcerated.
Yeah.
And now you're coming back to King's Theater. Does this feel like redemption, like you're reclaiming something, or does it feel like something else for you?
I think accomplishing all that I've accomplished since being deported, getting myself elected to the House of Representatives, no hip-hop, respect to my God, do it all, from the Lords of the Underground. He's a counselor in New Jersey, respect to Mayor Ross, but no one has made it to the House of Representatives. No one from hip-hop has been elected to the House of Representatives. I was not only elected to the House of Representatives, I was the opposition leader of the House of Representatives, one step away from becoming the Prime Minister of Belize. That in itself, I could drop the mic and just walk away, because that was not just a win for me, that was a win for hip-hop. That shows the power of hip-hop, that we go to the Oval Office, we go to the Prime Minister's office. So that was a great accomplishment. So that was a part of my redemption. I put out a documentary in 2024, Hulu, The Honorable Shyne.
That's right.
So my redemption already came for me in being able to take, the lime and the lemons and make some great lemonade and some great lime juice and just create history and help the people of Belize and then return here as the opposition leader of the House of Representatives in Belize. There was no greater redemption and return than that. So this is more of a celebration of all of that, because the people that love Shyne, I think they were as excited about what I accomplished as a human being as they are about the Shyne music. They were hurt with all the pain that I went through, and I think they were ecstatic to see me overcome that, and not overcome that just on a great level, but it's like unprecedented, extraordinary. So I think redemption already came from me.
Wow.
And that's why now it's celebration.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I'm returning to the stage, because it's the 25th anniversary. Not too many people get to celebrate a 25th anniversary, and it means something. And also I have time, because I lost my seat in the House of Representatives. So I have a few years until the next elections. So I have time to give the right energy and the right professional capacity to a performance, to a tour, to my new albums, to memoirs and film projects. I have time. So yeah.
So everything happens for a reason. For sure. For not saying it's been pretty, obviously.
I didn't really want to lose those elections, but
it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm used to making lemonade and lime out of
everything at this point. What song do you think is going to be the most emotional song for you to perform that night?
Man, I think the songs I look forward to. Definitely Commission. You know, the Commission was a great record, man. You know, people love the Commission. Like, what you gonna do? You know, that's like the first song. Even Dear America, I look forward to coming out on that Dear America when when you know the lights go out and you hear that Dear America. You know, it's about to go. And obviously, you know, that Bad Boys.
Oh yeah.
That record is gonna be so. It's like everything. You know, I definitely look forward to performing a record that Pharrell produced on my album called N-Word Gonna Die. It was one of my favorite songs. I think I maybe edit the chorus. So instead of saying they're gonna die, just, you know, maybe say, you know, we gonna fly or something, you know. I don't want people already, you know, putting me in a corner saying, listen, we want the Timbs, we want the Yankees fitted, you know, so I have to give them Shyne. But I think there's a way that you can, you know, you could be creative and still give them Shyne. They're gonna get the veins popping out the vocal cords. They're gonna get Shyne.
They're gonna get it.
They're gonna get Shyne, right?
In Dear America, if I remember some of the lyrics where you were talking about, Dear America, I'm only what you made me.
Only what
right?
you made me. Young, black, and crazy. Please save me. Right? I said, I'm dying inside. Can't you see it in my eyes? Fearless on the outside, hopeless inside. Build schools instead of prison, and I'll stop living the way that I'm living. See, I could say that now.
I was gonna say,
yeah, that's
same message.
That's perfect.
Applies today
to what I became, which was a legislator who is now a policy shaper, answering the calls of the young Shyne boy or girl. Mm-hmm. So I think, and that's why I say it's a celebration. Yeah. How great is it to go from being oppressed and suppressed by the system to being a global leader? And those records, like, you know, when you listen to What You Gonna Do, those are warrior songs. Those are songs for people that are surviving, that are struggling and thriving and triumphing over tragedy. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why it resonates. I have prosecutors, educators, sanitation people, all types of people that love my music.
That's right.
There's a very diverse group there because it was more, I don't think I was the Quentin Tarantino gore rapper. I wasn't just saying things
just
to
say 'em,
evoke
right.
an emotion or to have people say, oh, wow, did you hear what he said? He said the most violent thing ever. I was really just talking about my life. And I think the poetry that I created, the art that I created, I think it resonated with people because there was an energy, there was a fighter there, there was a general there on the front line going to war, and you need that music when you're in the gym working out. You need that music, you know, before the game, before you give your speech.
That's right.
While you're writing your dissertation, you know, while you're on the train from your 9 to 5. Like, I think music means so much to people and how it carries them through. And that's why I would never want to tell a creative, like, what type of music to create, because nobody wants to listen to the same thing.
That's right.
Diversity is important, but I know my music meant so much to so many people. So when those songs come on, it's not, oh, well, Shyne is a legislator, so he can't get on the stage. I mean, Jay-Z was CEO of Rockefeller, Rock Nation, and he was still the greatest performer and the greatest rapper. Hip-hop has proven that we're transcendental, and we could do corporate, we could wear the suit in the corporate offices and sign artists, you know, make Rihanna a billionaire, make, you know, Kanye a billionaire, and still be an artist. Mm-hmm. So.
Do you feel like being in hip-hop helped you when it came to the politics? Like, do you feel like it prepared you for your political career? 1,000,000,000%. I was just explaining to someone, the only difference is in hip-hop, at least back then, it was more in the streets, and there were clear codes of ethics, because failure to follow those codes of ethics ended bad. Mm-hmm. Whereas in politics, at least in Belize, you know, my political opponents,
not even the government, which is my opposition, my internal political opponents did me dirty. And like the things they did, if they'd have did that in the hip hop era that I was in, it would have ended bad for them. But that's not who I am today. And I've changed and I've evolved. And I don't think politics should ever be that. You know, I took them to court. I won my court case. I mean, they still ended up relieving me of my office because the damage that they had done was so
already done, yeah.
terrible. So now, you know, I'm still collecting, hopefully soon, my damages from the courts. But that's the only difference because it's gruesome, it's brutal. But you just, for me, I didn't want to be that leader that would change the course of my country's democracy by resorting to anything other than the judiciary and the authorities, right? But man,
it prepared you.
Nasty work. It's nasty work in political terrain.
How did you feel when people compared your voice to Biggie? Right, I grew up listening to you. Right, this is our era.
Yeah.
Okay, and I remember that conversation being very heavy at that time. Like, he sounds so much like Big. Like, how did you take that? Was it a compliment for you? Were you playing off of it? Like, what was that like for you at that time?
I think the What You Gonna Do record and some other records kind of addressed it. Similarities in my voice. Check the words. I'm influential to those who pitch birds from the curb, dodging and dipping the knocks. It's the young Frank Matthews, the rap version. I'm nice, like, and I'm Shyne, like, that's my voice. Like,
right.
I'm not, it's 25 years. You go on my page, you follow my political life, you listen to my speeches in the House of Representatives. It's the same baritone.
Right.
I wasn't trying to be anything other than me, painting the pictures of the life that I lived. And I think that was evident, that conversation that you're talking about was short-lived. Once the album came out, and they went through the body of work, and then I kept doing guest appearances, whether it was the Can't Believe with Carl Thomas and Faith Evans, and It's Over Now, and the record with Swiss Beats, and the record with Corrupt and Daz, and they was like, okay, and yeah. So
did the industry at all try to box you in, or like, did you feel like, you're like, no, this is who I am? You never felt like they're trying to keep you boxed in or anything like that?
I think my recollection is reminiscent of Kobe Bryant. Nobody, I'm sure that's a valid question that they would ask him, God bless his soul. They did an interview with him. What does it feel to be compared to Mike? But in my opinion, Kobe Bryant etched his face on the Mount Rushmore of
course,
the GOATs, and there's a valid argument to be made that he's the GOAT. But when he started out, people needed to. That's what we do as consumers. That's what we do as an audience.
Compare.
That's what media does. Who's this guy remind me of? And unfortunately, for me, I got the baritone that I have, but I can't change my voice, right? But what I could do is make an album and make work that is uniquely me.
Of course.
And so when you go through my body of work, that's Shyne. My flow is not nobody. My flow is not Hove. It's not B.I. It's not Pac. It's me. I'm switching melodies every 4 bars. Like, I go back to it. I'm nice. I don't want to be, hubristic. It is what it is. And so that's what it was about. Every time I went in the booth, it was like, okay, I'm gonna give you this 16 clip. I'm gonna let you feel it. Right. While painting pictures, and then I was nice. And I was painting my truth, and my truth was so important, that story, that voice. I was the voice of so many unheard youth in urban society. And so that cry was our cry. So for me, it was so deep. It was life or death for me. I almost lost my life when I was 16, so getting into music saved my life. So telling my story was very crucial. I told my story, and I told my story in my voice, with my skill set, and that's why I'm still here today.
Yeah.
And I could do a 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Looking back at your time with Bad Boy, what would you say is a misconception about that era?
It was a great experience for me. I'm not gonna leave out what was good. Obviously Puff did some terrible things as far as, conspiring to send me to prison to save himself. But as far as music and being a creative genius, you can never take that away from him. So being able to learn from one of the greatest ever was a great experience for me, and I absorbed it. And there's so much that I absorbed that lives with me today, lives with me in politics,
Yeah.
Being a workaholic, never sleeping, never being satisfied, being a perfectionist, manifesting your destiny, never listening to the naysayers and the detractors, and shattering the ceiling, and building the ladder to the heavens, and coming back down on earth, and then building another ladder. Just that was the era. Like if you got to be honest, there was a time where Puff was like Michael Jackson.
Absolutely.
And Bad Boy was like Motown. He was like Michael Jackson and Barry Gordy in one, and there was nothing greater. And everybody wanted to be a part of that. So I'm grateful to have been a part of that. And so, but I still had to do my work because, unfortunately for me, or fortunate,
depending how you look at
there's
it,
this paradox there. I came at the height, and then there was nowhere but down.
right?
So I was at the summit, and then from there, it was down. And man, that downward fall, like the Forever album, crashed. And that was like it. Like that was when the down really happened. Not to say it was the worst album ever, but it wasn't Puff Daddy and the Family. It wasn't, Life After Death. It wasn't, that's not how the people felt. So that was the beginning of the crash, and Mace leaving, the Locks leaving. So it was crash. And really Bad Boys is what brought the label back. But Bad Boys wouldn't have come about, and I wouldn't have been able to make the Shyne album if Club New York didn't happen, because then Diddy would have been all over my album. He was actually supposed to be on Bad Boys. I produced my album. I picked every song. I wrote every song, and it was just me. It was just me, Barrington Levy. That's it. I don't think I had any features. There was nobody else except Slim from 112 on that's the only song that
A feature.
I might not perform on May 2nd. That's the only song I might not perform.
Why?
So misogynistic when it's like get out.
Okay. In that case, when you say it like that,
I don't want. So me and Slim gonna have to talk, and we're gonna have to change that chorus because I don't even know though, because the lyrics, oh man, I cringe when I think of that.
You've evolved.
My beautiful daughter. I wouldn't. That's the only song that I don't think I could perform unless I change it.
You change it, yeah.
It had to be, come here, girl, I want to love you, or something like that. I had to go real LL Cool J and get real smooth on that record. But yeah, so I brought, the label was crashed.
Yeah.
But that album, and that's why, God bless Height 97, I remember when, I got to give him his flowers, Funk Flex.
That's right.
He's the one. When that song dropped, when he dropped that song, he played that song like 100 times.
Yeah, with his bombs and everything.
And whatever happens in the industry, you try to influence people and you try to convince them. If he's not with a record, I remember back then he was the Holy Grail. He's just not with it. There's nothing that you could do.
Right.
He's not going to go.
Yeah.
But he went, and once he went, That was it. Everybody else went. And then when the album dropped. When the video dropped in Raytown, Jamaica, and they saw me.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
And then when you heard the album, so it was like, that's one song. But then when you hear What You Gonna Do,
right?
When you hear Bang, when you hear Dear America,
right?
When you hear N-Word Gonna Die, when you hear The Commission, when you hear The Life, when you hear The Hit, when you hear It's Okay, like, it's a great album.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be.
It's a great album. What do you want me to do? What's one moment from that era that makes you smile? Like you're like, man, this was great. Of course, like, listen, the hardships exist, but there is a specific moment for you that, warms your heart.
I think what I just described warms my heart. But I think one of my favorite moments is when Jay-Z told me I had a hit. Now Jay-Z, like you say, Flex was the holy grail as far as DJs. Mm-hmm. Jay-Z is still the holy grail. And was the holy grail then. And there was no one, like he was bougie with it. Like he don't mess with you. Like he's God and we're mortals. So it's like, yo, can't even see you. Like, huh? I don't hear you, right? That was Hov, right? So and when I first tried to get a record deal, I gave him my tape. And this confident gentleman that you see before you.
Oh boy.
Imagine me at 19 years old.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. I had my iceberg, sweater on, my iceberg sweats, my iceberg hat.
Yes.
He was the iceberg man. And it was me and my guy Don Pooh. We were about to open a Brooklyn Chop House in Belize, respecting him. And we were at the Metronome, not far from here, I think, 21st Street. And so we were all out there in the club, and I was like, yo, I'm the hottest thing you ever gonna hear.
Yeah.
I tell this story, I think, in my documentary.
Oh, man.
I said, you got your ratchet on you? That means gun back in the days. I said, play my thing right now. And if I'm not good, you could shoot me. That's how I was a wild boy.
God.
So I gave him the tape. Mark Pitts was there too, respecting my guy, Boss Storm, Mark Pitts. So we didn't hear back from him. So me and my guy Manny, respect the Manny, he used to manage Future. Keisha Cole, he's a big time Hollywood executive producer, CEO right now. So we went to 560 or 550. But we went to State Street. Mm-hmm. We went to the apartment on 560 or 550, and we waited for him to come outside. And so he came outside, iceberg hat, low, and he jumped in the Range Rover. And so we ran down on him. It's like, talk to me. It's like, all right, roll up his window and drive out. Yeah.
Wait, how is this a good moment?
No, because I'm telling you, I'm giving you the backdrop.
Yeah, this is crazy.
So when I got to Bad Boys, and that went right, and I seen him, I seen him in the club. No, I just happened to see him in the club.
Yeah.
And I see you gotta look at my storytelling.
Yeah.
I'm Ryan Coogler with it. I was giving you the storytelling.
I love it. Yeah.
About how he's God and like he's up here and he can't even hear you. So
roll up the window.
So no. But so when we in the club, the fact that he even see me, the fact that Hov even see you, and it's like, yo, you got one. And I think my record was playing while we were passing, and they were playing the record over and over in the club, and he but he's so God complex with it, he might have still passed you and been like, yeah, whatever, man. It's not hotter than my stuff. But he was like, you got one.
But that, like, it.
Yeah, so that's one of the moments that make me smile.
Those moments, it's like you can't even make that up.
Yeah,
like you can't plan that. Like the song is playing, you're crossing paths after.
And I'm not capping. You don't got to pull the flag up. I know my guy Joe Crack, Jada. I know they be pulling the flag out. You don't got to pull the flag out. No me, no cap.
I believe everything
you
you're
could
saying.
ask Jay if you see him. You could ask him. But no, because I think, I'm just being honest. He was the standard for me, especially as a Brooklyn kid. Definitely B.I.
Of course.
B.I. was incredible. But Hov was the standard, I think, for all rappers. Mm-hmm. I don't know a rapper that's serious about their pen game. It was Hov and Nas. Mm-hmm. When it came to that pen game, I can't forget Ray.
Of course.
Only built for Cuban links. don't get me going down that rabbit hole, because then I got to talk about Rakim and KRS-One.
Yeah, then you got to, yeah.
But Hov was my guy. That was my guy. As far as, you know, man, whenever I would paint my stories, I had to make sure my triple entendres and everything was on par or greater than, you know, what Hov would do. So to have him recognize me at that moment was incredible. And as I said, you know, our relationship continued. You know, he came to see me in the Maybach in Rikers Island when I first came out. You know, him and my guy Steven Acevedo, we laugh about, not really laugh, they actually curse me out about it all the time, because it's like we had it planned. And yo, to this day, Hov is, when he doesn't even want to talk about that. They remember where they were. They were at the Yankees game when the record leaked and Hov was about to throw up. He had to leave the Yankees game. Yeah. So we still, you know, still got that relationship. So yeah.
In 1999, the Club New York shooting obviously changed everything. Now, when you think about it and you look back, 21-year-old self, like, what do you think he didn't understand then?
Throw the gun. But nah. But that's what my lawyer told me.
Yeah.
Said, didn't you watch The Godfather, kid? Throw the gun. I really was afraid for my life.
Of course, yeah.
And I really was defending myself. I don't know how I could have responded different when I genuinely believed my life was in danger. Now where I'm at, I'm 47 years old. I'm a statesman, global leader. God will just have to take me to heaven. You know, I won't have any unlicensed weapon. You know, at my house, I have protection for my family, and that's my daughter. So, yeah, I guess that's the only time that I would have to defend, is to protect the life of my daughter. But yeah, I really was genuinely defending myself. I really wasn't trying to be a gangster. I had left that life. That's what a lot of people don't understand about me. And I do it when I speak. You know, I have to pay credits to my sister. She's Assemblywoman Chantel Jackson. She's a chairwoman of the Black Legislative Task Force. And so we do work. And my other sister, a Councilwoman Farrah Lewis from Brooklyn. Chantel is from the Bronx. But we do work, and we have work planned to talk to at-risk youth and to youth in general, so that they don't make the mistakes that I made. Because, you know, gun violence, I don't promote it, I don't condone it. I may have rapped about it, but it was what I was living.
Sure.
And I don't want kids to think that that's the life. The life is to become the president of the United States, become the mayor. I think your mayor used to be a rapper. So, yeah, do music, you know, do film, you know, just be a hardworking contributor, 9 to 5, whatever it is. Don't go to jail. Don't go to an early grave. And if you're gun-toting, gang-banging, that is what is going to happen. So I in no way want to encourage people to imitate my art. But it doesn't take away from my art. That was my art reflecting my life at the time.
Your life experience.
Yeah, but so the 21-year-old Shyne, it's just a little more humility. But it's difficult when you're coming from nothing, when you're coming from Brooklyn, Vietnam. We call it Brooklyn, Vietnam because it really was Vietnam for us. It was a battlefield of landmines and people getting their brains blown out, and you're 15, 16 years old getting shot. That's a lot. And to survive that, you got to almost kind of convince yourself every day that there's going to be another day.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of my bombastic confidence comes from, because I had to manifest my existence.
Right.
Not even my destiny or my success.
Absolutely.
I had to manifest that I would be alive. And it's difficult to take yourself out of that when you become legitimate in a legit industry. But I had done that as much as I could, so I didn't even have a gun to be fly. I had a gun because I had an incident at Daddy's house in end of October, November. This is like a month or so before the Club New York incident. And there was a shooting. And again, I had fears for my life. And I had no security. I had nothing. Maybe that's something that you could say that, well, maybe Puff should have made sure that he, you know, as an artist, he put
That he
somebody
took-
with
yeah.
me. But that wasn't the case. And I'm from Brooklyn, so I had post-traumatic stress syndrome. And that triggered that. And so I went back into war mode. Vietnam, they trying to kill me.
Yeah.
I thought I
Survival,
escaped. I
yeah.
thought I was on Park Avenue. I thought I was, you know, a BMG building in the Hamptons, private planes, Beverly Hills Hotel, Mulholland Drive. But
No.
when that happened, I was triggered. And so, you know, I'm sorry to my mom. I'm sorry to people that were hurt, even though the victim said explicitly it was Puff that shot her. She said that 2 years ago.
2024.
Yeah, said it was not Shyne.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry for that entire experience, very contrite, but I was genuinely defending myself. And humility is what I would give to my younger self, although it would be a little bit difficult to have accomplished the things that I accomplished
Without
that, you know, I had to
Yeah.
I had to be New York with it. New York isn't really humble. New Yorkers are like, they outside with it.
How do you not have any bitterness?
How do you allow bitterness to consume you? It becomes a cancer. So it's like, how do you continue to allow something to consume you? So yes, there was that bitterness. I thought I said it. You know, it's interesting. My documentary came out. We did not plan that. I signed my deal with Disney Anscape. Respect to my guy Jason Adu, who, even though we worked together, has become a friend and a brother from the Disney Anscape team. We signed that deal in 2022, January 2022. I could show you my contract. We started shooting in 23, in like July 23. We had no idea
What was to come?
what would have happened. But we had a schedule, and the schedule was that we were going to release. We were actually behind schedule,
Right.
and then Homeboy gets arrested in September,
Right.
and my documentary, The
Yeah,
Honorable
it
Shyne.
wasn't planned.
Yeah, but so people were asking like, oh, well.
Was it planned around the time? Yeah, and you're
then,
like, no.
Well, did you always feel this way? I was like, yeah. Didn't you hear me
Yeah.
when I was complaining all those years
For
ago?
many years. And I think a lot of people doubted you.
They doubted me. They didn't listen. They was like, but that's Puff. Just open the Ciroc and let's dance. And that's why, interestingly enough, I ran into Alex, who directed The Reckoning in L.A. I saw her at the Directors Guild Awards, and I congratulated her. She was nominated for Best Documentary for that documentary. And I'm happy that the victims, particularly Cassie, still have a voice in that documentary and so many other people, because while there's a mixture of people saying, oh, he was acquitted, and oh, everybody's just trying to come up, and oh, they're just trying to take somebody else down that's from the community, I'm sympathetic to the victims because I know what he did to me. I know what he's capable of. I used to say that he was the devil.
I remember
And,
you used to say that.
And so...
I remember when you said
so-
he destroyed your life.
So I could believe what these people claim he did to them. It's not difficult for me to believe that. And then when I haven't watched The Reckoning, but when you hear of all the stories and all the people, yeah, sometimes you could say, oh, they're just trying to come, but that's what they said about me. So I'm not going to say that about anybody. But I didn't watch it because I don't want to reopen my old wounds. I don't want to go back to that place of bitterness. I'm celebrating, and it's beautiful.
And you mentioned that you forgave Puff.
Forgiving is not forgetting. And what happened is, after Cassie filed her lawsuit, this kid, Lil Rod, filed a lawsuit. And in the lawsuit, he says that Diddy, Puffy, says he shot up the club and he made Shyne take the fall. That just threw me for a loop.
Did the wound reopen at this moment?
Absolutely, because I know what he's capable of, and I knew that that's what he did. And the fact that he would even be bragging about that or saying that to someone else, that really hit me. And then the victim came forward and was like, yeah, it was Puff that shot her. So you never forget. But even then, I had to answer some questions. I didn't do any American media because I wasn't interested in revisiting those wounds. But in Belize, there's this degenerate person that is a pseudo journalist, and he always wants to tear Shyne down. Actually inspires me because I just keep proving him wrong, but he always wants to tear me down. So he would ask me all these wild questions. I was in Clinton Denimora in the cell that Tupac was in Mumi Abu Jamal.
Wow.
And I was in Belize deported. What would I have to do with anything that this gentleman was doing? The timeline is clear. Don't mix me with that. So that's when I had to answer and had to, and then for all the people, my political opponents that were calling me a criminal and saying, oh, you shot this person, I'm like, what you got to say now? Didn't necessarily say it like that, but it was a moment to answer and to point out, to highlight that I didn't shoot those people and I'm not a criminal. I was just defending myself. And that guy, I told you he was the devil, but that's not what I'm on. I'll tell you, there was a part of me before the Lil Rod thing that was torn. When the accusations first came out, when the Cassie thing first happened, I was torn. I wasn't sure if this was the powers that be wanting to take down an African-American icon. Because it's happened in America before. So I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure. I was like, man. So I was sympathetic initially. But then when the Lil Rod thing came out and the victim came forward again, and it just reminded me, nah, that's him. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't know how you dealt with the bitterness. I mean, I haven't experienced anything that you have, and I get petty sometimes. I'm like, so I can't even imagine, but it's a testament to your resilience, and really, hey, the next day is going to come around. I'm going to survive. I'm going to make it happen. And still, you still have this aura of positive energy. And I just think that's amazing.
I don't want to take all the credit. I'm not a religious person at this stage of my life. I believe I transcend religiosity. I've evolved to a state of enlightenment. So I embody everything that the spiritual giants of the world have given us, have shared with us. So you go back to Abraham, you go back to Moses. Moses is Musa. You go back, a lot of people are liking my story to Joseph. Joseph is Yusuf. We're all saying the same thing, the Christians, the Muslims, the Jews. So I don't want to get into those boxes. I want to be a humanitarian. I want to focus on contributing the right energy, whether through action, whether through words, to humanity. And I don't want to be a part of a box. I want to be aid to humanity. But my prayers, and that's why I went to Jerusalem. I didn't go to Jerusalem to be a part of the government or to be a Zionist or to be none of the politics. There are Christians in Jerusalem, there are Muslims in Jerusalem, there are Catholics in Jerusalem, as well as Hebrews in Jerusalem. I went there for my spiritual journey, which is responsible for where I'm at now, because I had to be initiated. I had to go to the center, the nuclear center of planet Earth, to realize the truth. And the truth is where I'm at now, which is enlightenment and humanity. But prayers, fasting, I still pray every day. I'm fasting today.
Oh, wow.
I fast on Mondays and Thursdays for the last 26 years.
Wow.
From sun up to sundown.
Any water or anything?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Wow.
But I don't fast for health. I fast for my divine connection, to continue to be an instrument of the Most High. And I pray 7 times a day.
Wow.
Yeah, but more than pray and fast, and I baptize. The Hebrews call it the mikvah. It's a spiritual immersion. I do that at least once a day. When I'm in Belize, I do it twice, depending on where I'm at. I do it twice. So there's a regimen to get to this.
Wow.
And to remove the bitterness, and to remove the bitterness so there's space to be a vessel for the Creator.
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
That's amazing. That's work.
Yeah, well, it's been 20.
That's
It's been
incredible.
27 years, 1999 to
Wow.
now. I think it's 28 years. Yeah, it's 28 years.
What was harder, being in prison or being exiled? Prison almost 10 years, and then exiled afterwards. What would you say?
Oh, I have to be prison. I'm being. I could have stayed and fought to stay here,
Right.
but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I could not spend another day in captivity. And Belize is paradise. So my thing is, I'll get back up top, not another day in captivity. So when October came around, they took me to the ICE detention center after my time had expired. I couldn't do it. Not another day. I just couldn't do it. Just send me back to Belize. It's all right. I found my way back. So yeah, definitely being in captivity. I don't even know how I did it other than what I just said.
Prayer, fasting.
I prayed, I fasted, I did all the spiritual techniques, employed all the spiritual traditions of the patriarchs.
Sure.
And yeah, I just used all the sciences. That's why I changed my name to Moses, because Moses was the master scientist, right? So he parted seas and did all types of things. So yeah, so definitely I would never, and even right now, I pray for Puff. I would never wish incarceration on anybody.
Of course.
And I pray that he's able to heal and return to the streets and make amends for all the people that he hurt and all the lives that he destroyed, and that he's able to reform. And I believe in second chances, because I got a second chance, even though my crime was really having a weapon, but I still shouldn't have had a weapon. And I still encourage the youth out there, don't get an illegal weapon. Don't choose a life of crime. Don't resort to resolving your issues. Leave it to the authorities. But yeah, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Not my worst enemy. That's the worst thing that could happen to a human being.
When you see what's happening right now in the landscape and you see the deportations happening, like, does that open a wound for you too? Do you feel a way? Do you look at like human lives and what's happening now? Like, or maybe your perspective is different.
As an immigrant, my mom was an immigrant. My grandmother was an immigrant. They all became citizens. My entire family, that from my mom's side, immigrated to the States and all became U.S. citizens, but they were once immigrants. So certainly my heart hurts for people that are not being given the opportunity to have that American dream that I got. But there are some people where I could understand that are here and may be a threat to national security. Not everybody is doing the right thing. So I don't want to get involved in the politics of American immigration, but my prayer is that the president and his administration, I just pray for mercy and compassion, and that there's the ability to distinguish from those immigrants that really add value to America, which is the majority, the vast majority, the super majority. I think it's only a small percentage, a small few that may be a threat to national security. And I just pray that there's compassion and there's mercy and there's sympathy.
How does all this shape the new music you're working on, right? Are you going back, like, because look, you can get crazy on the lyrics, right? We've heard you you're nice, right? And like, but now
You saying that because I said that, or you saying that?
No, because that's what you've done, right? Like we've heard this for many years.
All right.
But
Just making sure.
it also sounds like you've evolved, right? And like maybe certain lyrics, like from the past, you might not be a fan of. Does that play a part in how you make music now, where you're like, man, I'm enlightened. I've been fasting in these things. I am going to change, or is that a battle within you?
You listen to that Clips album?
Yes.
You listen to that Nas verse?
Yeah.
I think, listen.
Like, do you battle within yourself as an artist at all?
There's no battle. I'm about to give it to you. You just need to go back to the essence of hip hop. Mm-hmm. Hip hop developed into a diverse cadre of artistry that included gangster rap, that included street rap, criminology rap, as Raekwon would eloquently say. But hip hop started with just being nice.
Right, of course.
So you didn't, Rakim wasn't cursing.
Right.
Rakim wasn't trapping.
Right.
Rakim wasn't El Chapo. He wasn't
Right.
none of, he was just nice.
Yeah.
And he was talking about his reality.
His experience.
His experience. And he was nice. Who was nicer than him? Don't sweat the technique, follow the leader. Juice.
Yeah.
I ain't no joke. I mean,
yeah.
Who's better than Rakim, right? You go back to KRS-One, My Philosophy, The Bridge is Over.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
Right? So you could be nice. I mean, Cool G rap, I was going to throw him in there, but he's definitely a gangster rapper. But before we got to Cool G, there were a lot of nice rappers, LL Cool J. Yeah. I'm talking about my heroes that were nice. Big Daddy Kane, nice.
Absolutely.
The nicest, right? Before we got to my other heroes, which are like NWA and Dre and Snoop.
Absolutely.
But that's a different form of the art.
Right.
But I'm just taking you to a place where it started, where those were the hit record makers that they didn't make the Shyne album, they didn't make the Chronic album. So you could be nice and you could come with it. You could have triple entendres and you could be dancing over the beat and you could give that work without trying to be 21-year-old Shyne.
That's right. That evolution, I personally think is important.
Yeah.
And I just never know if artists feel boxed in by what, the super fans and their fans have first fell in love with, right? Like we see this with artists all the time where they say like, hey, I'm growing and I want my fans to appreciate the growth with me. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm always so curious how artists view that, like for you.
I'll give you another story. I had been planning to go to Los Angeles to finish some work in the studio. And I just happened to plan my visit the week of the Grammys. I'll be honest with you. I was so focused on Belize and all the different projects that I have, I wasn't thinking about the Grammys. But once I realized there was the Grammys, then, I went to the congratulations to Pharrell, who won the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award, and Brandy and Kirk Franklin, who got the Black Collective Honors Award. And just being around my peers, being around all these great creatives was very inspiring for me, and it reaffirms the discussion that we're having. Art is just waiting to happen, and there's no specific way for it to happen. The world is waiting for the first you. Yeah. The world is waiting for the new you. The world is waiting for the evolved you. Like, you don't know what people gonna love. So sitting there saying, nah, we gotta make Bad Boys 3.0. Listen, I went to see, met with my producers while I was out there, different producers, and, one of them hit me with something that kind of was reminiscent of the Grace Jones Bad Boy, and I was like, nah, come on.
Yeah.
I'm never ever gonna do that. We need to make something that's great now.
That's right.
Right? I want something that's great now. And I played him my album, played him a Shyne album, played him Godfather, and he lost it, and so he was a Shyne fan, but he didn't know the body of work, and I'm like, that's what I'm up against, and I don't listen to these albums because I don't want to make these albums
That's
again.
right.
But just for you to know, I already did that, so let's do something.
That's right.
Else, and there's something great there to happen.
Yeah.
I know there's something great because the greatest people that have made music, Bob Marley. Bob Marley wasn't thugging and bugging, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with NBA Youngboy or any of the new artists, anybody spitting their spit, talking their talk, because that reflects who they are and what they do, and that's their art. But I don't have to be them to be relevant and to make great music. And like I said, Bob Marley is my all-time hero, more than Jay-Z, and he made great music for your soul. So I take this as a challenge to be able to make some great music that make you feel good, that you and your lady could have dinner night with, that you could work out to in the gym because it's so aggressive.
Right.
There's a way to express all the emotions that bring us together without using the same formula that I did when I was 20 years old.
Yeah. With everything that you've done, everything that you've gone through, music, political career, just being yourself, caring about people, what does success look like for you now, at this point of your life?
Success is being the best father to Naomi, my daughter, that I could be, first and foremost. If I do nothing else, it would be to be the best father to her, to in every way, shape, or form, not just monetary. It pains me that I have to be away for all these weeks that I was away, because it's not just making sure that she's taken care of monetarily and materially, but just being there for her. When we go walking, like twice a week, we go exercising, and it's just things like that. Just
how old is she?
She's 8. She's 8 years old.
She's 8.
Yeah, she's 8 years old. So when we take our summer trips and our New Year's, things like that. Just being the best father I could be to her, and then after that is serving the people of Belize. Being able to provide opportunity for the people of Belize, being able to bring attention to the people of Belize, just helping Belize to become a better place for the day-to-day people. Because obviously the oligarchs, the politically connected, they'll have a good life. But every time I fly home, I'm flying home tomorrow, and I look at Belize, it's such a paradise, but then I know that there are people that don't have access to that paradise. So success for me is being able to create a Belize where I was able to increase the accessibility to the paradise.
You know what? When you were deported, you grew up in Brooklyn your whole life. And then
I was born in Belize.
But you were born in Belize.
But I came to Brooklyn the same age as my daughter at 8 years old.
And you were here the whole time. And then when you were deported, was there a culture shock for you initially, or not really? Or were you okay? Like how
I was fortunate. That's what I always tell people. I was fortunate because I was a multimillionaire. So I'm not going to cry me a river. I was a multimillionaire, so it's easy to transition, but it's still devastating. Money can't take away that devastation, because so I don't want to shed tears and make you feel like it was the worst thing ever, because I was a multimillionaire being deported. So I was able to live in a penthouse, and I was able to live on the beach and on the island, and I was able to travel around the world. And, I used to go away every weekend, Costa Rica and Panama and Mexico City. So.
It was okay.
Yeah, but it's still, as an artist, as a creator, as a professional that made such an impact and had his professional life here and had his life here, my mom, everybody. Of course, it hurts that I'm not Like right now, there's no place I would rather be than Belize. Ever, all the time, every day, I want to be in Belize. But I come here and I work and I make the best of it, and I can't wait to go home. So for me, it's never that, it's not that I don't love my country or that I want to be here. It's just freedom. So to have been held in captivity for 10 years and then I don't have the freedom, because I used to go to Belize every summer. When I first signed my deal in 1998, the first thing I did was buy a platinum Rolex, a titanium Audemars Piguet, a Mercedes 600, a Range Rover.
Wow,
and
you got a lot of
hold
things.
Hold on, and book my flight. This 19-year-old Shyne, and book my flight to Belize. I had a big rope chain, similar to what Slick Rick had. The platinum joint that he had with the but he got like he expanded the plate. He made the plate like a whole dinner plate. My plate was a little bit smaller with the diamonds, and so when I went to Belize, everybody thought I was a drug dealer. They were like, "Yo, see what's this guy doing?"
Yeah.
Right? They didn't. I was like, "Yo, I just signed a record deal with this guy, Puff Daddy." Like,
yeah, all right.
because nobody in Belize has ever had the commercial success that I ever had. Up to that time,
right,
nobody ever had that success. And still to this day, I'm the only one that's ever had that success. But I was in Belize because I love Belize. So I wanted to show everybody in Belize.
Yeah. Look at, yeah.
Right? So I always loved Belize, but it was just a matter of, as a professional, as an artist, as a son, my mom already went through all of that. Why should it, be that she got to come there to see me, and just to be free.
Oh yeah,
freedom to make my music, to make my impact, and just to be free. I tell you, just to be free to travel wherever I want to travel to. So yeah.
What do you want your legacy to be when it's all said and done?
The two things that I just said. I was a great dad to my daughter. I was a patriot, a servant to Belize, and I was a humanitarian because I don't just care about the people in Belize. They're first and foremost, but one of the reasons I did my documentary with Disney, Anscape, is because they got it. They understood that I wanted to tell the Shyne story, which was a story of redemption, resilience, reformation, invincibility, and humanity, and that I prayed that the documentary, The Honorable Shyne, would inspire people.
Yep.
Because there's someone going through something right now. I think all of us are going through something right now.
All the time.
And we need each other. Because when we see what someone else went through or is going through and how they got through it, it helps us navigate what we're navigating. And we're like, he went through that, and I'm going through this, and I'm complaining.
Right.
Let me fix myself real quick. And that was the purpose of the documentary. And the continued purpose of my life is to continue to be an inspiration to people all over the world. Because I have fans in Africa, I have fans in Europe, I have fans in the UK, in Asia, in Latin America, in the Middle East, everywhere. So I don't just, everything that I do is planetary, is for humanity. Belize first and foremost, because I got to start, I got to take care of my daughter and I got to take care of my people first. But that expands to the rest of the world. So that's my legacy.
When we celebrate you at King's Theater, May 2nd, what are we going to walk away feeling that night?
Everything that I just said. You're going to feel this entire conversation and that entire 25-year, 27-year journey, 28-year journey, actually, because it's like 3 years before the album came out, there was a journey in music, being signed. But you're going to feel all of that. And that's where I've always been. If you go back, I don't know if you've seen the advertisement for the show. It shows me performing on Rap City and performing on MTV, and I haven't lost that. Like if you go and look at my House of Representatives meetings,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The energy,
Yeah.
the energy's up.
It's up. Yeah,
Yeah, it's up.
They had to shut down the House of Representatives a few times because I'm passionate about the people I represent.
That's
It's
right.
not me trying to grandstand or trying to, upstage and have political theater. No, I'm there to fight for people, and I'm going to fight. And so that hasn't gone away. And so yeah, they're going to get all those emotions, and they're going to get, all the tears, all the blood, all the sweat in that performance. And, we're going to be rehearsing because I always have to be professional. I'm always prepared and ready
Yeah.
for anything that I do. So I'm definitely going to, give them a night that they'll never forget.
Are you gonna bring guests out?
Gotta bring guests out.
Okay, I
Man.
never know if this is.
I did records with so many people outside of my album.
Yes.
I did one of Keisha Cole's biggest record. I did the record that launched Keisha Cole's career, which was I Changed My Mind, the remix.
Yeah.
She was in Rikers Island performing that record. How could she not perform
You're right.
May 2nd? I'm not saying that she is.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It would be
right?
amazing
It
if
would
that
be
happened.
amazing if that happened, right?
Yeah.
Can't believe.
Right.
Grammy nominated a record.
Yeah.
Phone tap beat. When I was on Rikers Island,
Yes.
they was playing Hot 97 was playing that that was I remember vaguely now the spin. The most you could get is like 120 spins
Yeah,
for
right,
the
right.
day. Or was
Right.
that for the day or for the week?
I think for the week.
Yeah, so you get like 100. That means you played
Nonstop.
as much times
Yes.
on every.
Yeah.
I remember those days, right?
Yeah.
And can't believe
Was on.
was
Max
spinning,
rotation.
spinning, right? So records like that, I did one of my favorite records with Swiss Beats, the Shyne song
Yes.
with him and Mashonda. Pharrell, he produced,
Yeah.
and We're Gonna Die. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
you know.
you worked with a lot
then
of
you know,
greats.
Then I got my dancehall brothers and sisters.
Yeah, yeah.
I went to visit Bob's Cartel when he was incarcerated
I didn't
in
know that.
Jamaica. That's right. Me and my good friend Michael Parafit, he used to be the Attorney General of Belize and the Minister of National Security. My good friend, my brother, he used to be the chairman of the party when I was the leader. Him and I traveled to Jamaica.
Wow.
I think maybe it was the Buja concert? Or I don't know. We went there for something. But we went there, I think maybe it was some fest, but we made sure to go see
Wow.
Vibes Cartel. We called, we got in touch with the Minister of National Security for Jamaica. We went through everything we had because nobody could just come in and see him. And I went to pay him a visit and I prayed for him and, so I would think that he would come pay me a visit. And Brooke, I'm not saying it would happen.
We don't know. It'd be nice. These
Yeah, I
are
gotta-
all nice moments
that
if
would
they
be
could
nice.
happen. Yeah.
Buja, I went to see Buja. I
Yeah.
went to see Buja when he had his first concert in Jamaica. I didn't get a chance to. I think I met him like briefly, but we reconnected. Buja's a great guy. Buja came to see me in Belize in 2022 in like May. Yeah, he walked the
crazy.
streets with me in Belize. He went to speak to the gang leaders and everybody.
Wow.
Yeah. And when he was working on returning to the States as leader of opposition, I wrote letters and did whatever I could do.
Wow.
To support his return
Yeah.
to the United States. So I would think
It would be amazing if
I
it
would think
happened,
Buja
right?
I would think Buja would
Yeah.
pop up.
It would be
And
amazing.
Brooklyn
It's a homecoming.
Brooklyn is like Little Caribbean, right? It is Little Caribbean. So I would think, I'm going to stop there.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
would think. You know what I
That's
mean?
why we got to be there. May 2nd,
I would
King's
think.
Theater.
Cam already said he coming.
Oh, well then, I mean,
Cam said
wrap
he
it out.
Killer Cam said he
Killer
coming.
Cam. That's it.
Because I was on his talk with Flea.
Yeah.
He said he coming. So
It's going to be amazing. You
Yeah.
feel good about it?
I feel great about it.
Is it like, not like overwhelming, but does it feel very surreal?
It's surreal. That's a great word. It's surreal. I don't want to talk you to death, but just one more story.
Yes, please.
When I was in LA over the weekend, I was a presenter at the African American Film Critics Awards. And so Ryan Coogler, as you could imagine,
Yes.
got all the awards. I was a presenter for the Hoops, Hopes, and Dreams. They got the best documentary. But listening to Ryan talk about his art and his craft and how he started as a writer and the teacher that told him you need to be in Hollywood and then becoming a director and all the great work that he's done and the great success. Like, we thought Black Panther was great. We thought Creed was great. That's an entire franchise. Judas and the Black, all great, epic. And now you have Sinners breaking the record for Oscars, but he's an artist. And when he talks about, what it means to make his art and impact people and impact the world, it's great to be reminded of that so it's not just me. That's how we feel. The greatest artists are people that are not just doing it to see their selves on a poster or to just hear their voices. They're doing it for something deeper. I know what music means to people. People get through the worst things with music.
Yes.
People celebrate with music.
That's right.
And so performing on May 2nd at King's Theater, it's just, it is surreal. Because like I said, when I met Ryan, he was like, yo, we grew up to your music. Ooh. This is the kid that is nominated for the most Oscars ever, telling me that he grew up to my music. Like,
yes.
When I walked on stage, they was like, oh, that's Shyne.
Yes.
Right? No, but I'm just saying that's why I'm so excited and it's surreal. But there are people that I feel that way about. And that's the beauty of humanity. We all are inspired by each other. And yeah, I want to celebrate that inspiration.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
May 2nd, King's Theater.
Brooklyn,
this
New York.
is your homecoming.
That's right.
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
And I know you're busy, but leading up to then, if you are in town, please stop by so we can talk about the show more.
Yeah.
Maybe you could let us in on like who has confirmed that who, is okay. Telling
Well, I
us
think
who's all going to be there.
we got to leave that.
We'll leave it for the night.
We got to leave it for the night.
We'll leave it for the night.
But we have some ideas, right?
Yeah.
We have some ideas.
Some hopes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being
Thank you
here.
for having
It is
me.
a pleasure.
And make sure you visit Belize, you and Colin.
Yes.
Make
Are
sure
you kidding? You know what's so funny?
Paradise.
We have heard this time
He's
and time
dropping
again.
the ball right now that he has not taken you to
I
Belize
know.
yet.
I'm gonna tell him. I have heard this time and time again. I have heard we need to go to
If
Belize.
you're not taking your queen and your goddess to Belize,
Valentine's Day is here.
I mean,
Colin, what are we
that's
doing?
why I'm leaving tomorrow. So,
Yes.
Colin,
Thank you so much.
All right.
I'm gonna send this to him.
Send it to him, and all you
Wait,
guys got to
so
do
can I
is
get a
show
hold
up.
of you when we go out there because we don't know anything
Of
like
course.
what to
I'm
do?
sure the Belize, one of the things that I do as a patriot is I work with any leader in Belize, whether they are from the government or from my party, civil society, and I work well with the Minister of Tourism because I think he's one of the best ministers of tourism ever, and he's from the opposing party.
Wow.
Yes,
And you
but
think highly of
I
him.
think highly of him. We have a lot in common.
That's great.
And I think those are the type of leaders, that mindset, that we're not going to try to bring down other leaders just because they're not a part of our team.
Right.
And we're going to do what's best for the Belizean people or for whatever people you serve. But I'm sure that all you guys got to do is land, and Belize will be happy to welcome you and to host you. So, Colin, let's make it happen.
Go.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Shyne, thank you so
All right,
much. No,
thank you.
truly, it's been an honor. I grew
Pleasure.
up listening to your music. And so I'm always humbled when I meet a legend, an icon that is so kind.
Amen.
And so respectful.
Amen.
And you treated everybody so nice as you walked in.
Amen.
And listen, I don't take those moments for granted. And I just wanted to say thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
All right.